hand over now to Abra.
Nompu, thank you so much. I'm going to be speaking with Alan Beesley of ActionSA, so let's just get straight into it. What are your thoughts on what's happening behind the scenes in terms of a non-consensus between the GNU partners?
Yeah, so what we said earlier when the budget was canned 3 weeks ago, we said that the GNU is a farce, and it actually is a farce. I mean, it was hugely embarrassing for our country, and it remains embarrassing. It's quite clear that the GNU haven't agreed on it at the moment. So for us, it's extremely disappointing, but the budget will be presented today. And from an ActionSA perspective, we will not support any VAT increases. We think there's enough revenue in the system. We just think that there's just too much wastage, too much corruption and incompetence. You know, I sit on the Standing Committee on Finance, SCOPA, and the Auditor General, and I just see firsthand how much corruption and wastage there is in the system. So it's pointless asking people to pay more taxes, yet the fiscus is going to waste more money. It's totally unacceptable. But the one issue that seems to get missed in all of this thing is just the lack of economic growth. You know, our economic growth has been revised down from 1.3% to 1.1% to 0.8%, now to 0.6%. And we're talking about an SRD grant, but people don't want a grant. They want a job. You know, Martin Luther King Jr. talks about how unemployment is like psychological murder. We need to get people employed. You know, we need to get people fed. And the only way we're going to do that is getting through significant economic growth. And that's why we say the GNU is anti-growth, because growth has gone backwards since the GNU's come in. So we want to see bold reforms to get the growth going.
I just want to go back to the issue of corruption, because it doesn't matter which committee you sit on, corruption comes up in all committees. And just last week, the G20 nations met in Somerset West also to discuss anti-corruption measures. Why? Somebody over there mentioned to me that it's not that corruption is on the rise, it's just that more people are reporting it now and it's just more prevalent and more out there. When are we going to get this right?
So I sit on the Auditor General's Committee, and I asked her one day, because she was really, you could see she was exasperated by what's actually going on. And I said, what is the one thing that you would recommend? And she said, for corrupt officials to be in orange overalls. And that's the biggest problem at the moment. Corrupt officials are not going to jail. There's no accountability in the system. There's no consequence management. And that's why as ActionSA, we're introducing a corruption bill that mandates sentences 15 years for corruption above 500. People need to go to jail. We need to stop it, because it is. And the biggest problem with it is, if you're a good civil servant, you actually get destroyed by all the corruption around you. You know, you either partake in it or otherwise you just leave the system, which is so wrong. So we're saying corrupt officials need to go to jail.
Thank you so much for your time. That's Alan Beesley of ActionSA. Yet another party who is saying that there is room to find money if and when South Africa learns, or the government learns, to clamp down on corruption within the government.